When the clock struck midnight, no one in Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, could have predicted that such an operation was about to begin. A special team, acting under Ibrahim Traoré's direct orders, was silently approaching one of the city's most prestigious neighborhoods. But this was no ordinary operation. The truth that would emerge this night would shake not only Burkina Faso, but all of West Africa. So what had Ibrahim Traoré discovered? Which secret network had infiltrated the very heart of his nation? And why did this operation have to happen on this exact night? The roots of this story trace back to 6 months after Ibrahim Traoré came to power. After taking control of the country through a military coup in 2022, the young leader hadn't settled for mere political changes. He wanted to make his country truly independent. However, like every great change, this had created silent enemies. The first strange occurrence Ibrahim Traoré noticed was inconsistencies in reports coming from state institutions. Unexplained drops in mining revenues, anomalies in customs data, and most importantly, the unexpected enrichment of some high-ranking officials. First suspicions. In early 2023, Ibrahim Traoré met with his trusted intelligence chief, Colonel Mohamed Sankara, for a special mission. Sankara's task was simple: find the source of these anomalies in state institutions. "Mr. President," Sankara said while presenting his first report, "we're not dealing with just a few corrupt officials. This is a much larger network." Sankara's discoveries were shocking. In the ministry responsible for Burkina Faso's natural resources, there were secret agreements with mysterious companies. These companies appeared to be local firms on paper, but were actually parts of an international consortium. But what was truly shocking was how deep this network had penetrated. The network's dimensions. After weeks of covert work, Sankara's team uncovered a startling truth. This network wasn't just economic, but also a political operation. A complex web of relationships had been established between international companies, local politicians, and even some civil society leaders. The most disturbing part was that this network was actively working to undermine Ibrahim Traoré's rule. Messages shared in WhatsApp groups, audio recordings of secret meetings, and encrypted emails showed the existence of a coordinated sabotage plan. "Traoré's popularity must be reduced," wrote someone with the mysterious code name Golden Eagle in one of the secret messages. "When the people lose their support for him, we can intervene." When Ibrahim Traoré read these reports, a cold expression appeared on his face. While fighting to make his country independent, his enemies were trying to strike him from within. Operation Plan. In November 2023, Ibrahim Traoré made a critical decision. An operation must be organized to expose this network in one fell swoop. However, this operation had to be carefully planned because among the network's members were people in important positions within state institutions. "If news leaks in advance," he told Sankara, "all our evidence will be destroyed and these people will disappear." The plan had 3 phases. First, financial transactions would be tracked, then communication networks would be exposed, and finally physical evidence would be collected. The critical point was that all of this had to happen simultaneously. The operation's name: Clean Slate. The night begins. December 12th, 2023, 11:45 p.m. On Ibrahim Traoré's orders, 3 separate teams moved into action at different points in Ouagadougou. Each team had a different target, but all were focused on the same goal: completely exposing the secret network. The first team headed to a luxury villa in the city's elite district. This villa officially belonged to Marcel Ouedraogo, a local businessman. However, according to Sankara's discoveries, Ouedraogo was working as the financial brain of this network. The second team focused on a secret safe in the central bank. According to intelligence reports, documents showing all the network's financial transactions were stored there. The third team undertook the most critical mission. They would raid the secret communications center in the telecommunications company. First success. At 12:15 a.m., news came from the first team. The raid on Marcel Ouedraogo's villa was successful. However, what was found was much more than anticipated. In the villa's basement, a complete operations center was discovered. The walls were covered with maps, photographs, and complex diagrams. On the central desk were detailed documents showing Ibrahim Traoré's daily schedule. The most shocking part was the notes written on photographs of people in his close circle. These people can be persuaded, was written under some photographs. These people can be threatened, was written under others. But the most frightening note was under Ibrahim Traoré's own photograph. Last resort plan activated, shocking discovery. At 12:32 a.m., news from the second team shocked everyone. In the safe at the central bank, not only documents were found, but also detailed files showing assassination plans against Ibrahim Traoré. These files showed that the operation's dimensions were much larger than anticipated. The network wasn't content with just economic sabotage. They had also prepared physical elimination plans. The files contained detailed analyses of Ibrahim Traoré's daily route, security protocols, and weakest points. There were even prepared accident plans for different scenarios. As Sankara examined these documents, his hands were trembling. "Mr. President," he said over the radio, "this is very serious. They were really planning to kill you." Documents and confessions. Documents found in Dubois' office were evidence of a 15-year plan. This plan, prepared to systematically neutralize Africa's young leaders, included economic, political, and even psychological warfare methods. The most shocking document was a 200-page psychological profile file prepared about Ibrahim Traoré. This file contained detailed analyses about his character, weak points, motivations, and how he could be influenced. Traoré is extremely determined and idealistic, the analysis stated, resistant to traditional bribes and threats. However, he can be influenced through people in his close circle. Dubois partially cooperated during interrogation. "This is just the beginning," he said. "Similar operations exist everywhere in Africa. You stopped one, but dozens of others continue." Dawn's effect. At 5:30 a.m., the operation was officially completed. However, for Ibrahim Traoré, the real struggle was just beginning. The evidence obtained showed the existence of similar threats not only in Burkina Faso, but throughout the region. Ibrahim Traoré addressed his people that morning. In his television speech, he detailed the night's events. However, the most striking part was his final sentence. "This operation showed us that the struggle for independence is not only economic, but also mental. Our enemies are trying to steal not only our resources, but also our vision for the future. But we are ready." In international repercussions. News of the operation reached international media within hours. However, the reactions were the complete opposite of what was expected. Some Western media outlets characterized the operation as authoritarian behavior. These reactions once again proved Ibrahim Traoré's righteousness. The network's international dimension included not only economic but also media operations. "As you can see," Ibrahim Traoré said in his second speech, "when we tell the truth, they blame us. This shows how deep their systematic manipulations are." Epilogue. Burkina Faso's secret operation was only one part of Ibrahim Traoré's struggle to protect his country under his leadership. This operation showed that global powers use extremely sophisticated methods against Africa's young leaders. However, the message Ibrahim Traoré gave with this operation was clear. No power can prevent a people's genuine will for independence. True victory is not defeating the enemy, but exposing their existence and showing the truth to the people. What happened in Ouagadougou that night became a symbol of the awakening story not only of Burkina Faso, but of all Africa.